Have you ever felt the unbearable embrace of anxiety, its crushing grip making the simplest of tasks seem impossible? Do you wish there was some simple guide or tutorial you could watch that could help you start taking the first steps towards overcoming your anxiety? Maybe all packaged in an anime where cute anime girls dive deep into a hobby, and by doing so work through their personal problems and become closer friends. If so, then I have the perfect anime for you. Today, I invite you to witness the guiding star on our quest to break free of the shackles that anxiety has cast on you, as we take a closer look at Bocchi the Rock. Hi, I'm Papa Kuma, a therapist that loves anime and most things nerdy. I like to dissect these passions and examine their emotional and therapeutic values. Today, we're going to be looking at how Bocchi's journey to reach her dream of becoming a rock star can help us to start overcoming our own anxieties. Bocchi the Rock is about our titular main character, Bocchi, attempting to make friends and become popular, all through the power of rock. Bocchi's anxiety remains her biggest obstacle in this pursuit, and we witness as she bumbles her way through every social hurdle as she struggles for her goals. Bocchi shows us that even if we're feeling scared or anxious, we can still put our best foot forward and pursue our dreams, one awkward step outside of our comfort zone at a time. Bocchi is probably one of my favorite anime in a long while, and if you haven't watched it, two things. One, do yourself a favor and go check it out. Bocchi the Rock is a fantastic comedy that has some really powerful heartfelt moments. Two, there are going to be some minor spoilers for Bocchi for the remainder of this video. And on that note, let's dive into looking at what exactly anxiety is and how Bocchi manages to perfectly portray it. Anxiety is a feeling of fear, worry, or nervousness that we all grapple with from time to time. It's when our brain is thinking of how things can go wrong and sending us warning signals to either tread carefully or to avoid something altogether. All of us have different triggers, and some of us can experience things lightly, while others experience anxiety in the extremes. Anxiety is a part of our everyday lives. They're informed by how big we think the threat of something is. Different life experiences shape us to have different reactions. What might be terrifying for one might be just another walk in the park for someone else. Another factor, and one notable in Bocchi, is how avoidance of a fear or anxiety can make it larger. You see, anxiety has a bit of a snowball effect to it. The longer we avoid something that's anxiety-provoking for us, the larger it gets in our heads. So if we look at Bocchi's case, while always a bit socially awkward, her anxiety started to blow up even more after she cemented the idea that she could just learn guitar instead of learning social skills. Now she's great at guitar, but has also built up years of social avoidance, which makes the weight of every social decision she makes that much heavier and misinformed. This does make Bocchi endearing as hell, though, since her delusions of how things should play out are always cutely misguided. Sadly, also pretty relatable for how someone with social anxiety might wish social situations would play out. And that's how Bocchi captures anxiety pretty well. It's based in reality, and the reactions are always over the top and played for laughs. And that's why when the progress Bocchi makes whenever she takes a step out of her comfort zone is played seriously, it feels heartwarming and motivational, because that's how it is in real life. In real life, it's pretty normal to laugh about your anxieties, to try to make them feel small. But at the end of the day, when we have to confront these feelings, it can feel monumentous when we're actually able to overcome them. And Bocchi actually captures that process of change and overcoming anxieties pretty well. So let's take a closer look at that and see how this anime girl can teach us how to overcome our own anxieties. Weirdly enough, Bocchi's entire journey isn't to overcome anxiety. It's to be popular and make friends. And she sets out to accomplish this by putting her all into music, leaving her amazing at guitar but lacking in the social skills department. Because of her approach, her anxiety is ever present in every situation, but still, she tries. And after accomplishing all these milestones and working towards something bigger than herself, where's she at? Bocchi seems just as anxious and as socially inept as before. What the hell? Does that mean there's no growth? Does that mean this video's pointless? Does that mean that anime has lied to me? Anime would never lie to you. But it does reflect that deep-rooted change takes time. Anxieties can be deep-rooted into many aspects of our life, and overcoming them doesn't happen just because we finish the story arc. We get used to some scary situations and learn to apply those skills and feelings to others. So, like Bocchi's fight with anxiety, ours is going to be slow too, but that doesn't mean that every step we take doesn't count. Because much like with avoiding our fears or anxieties, which can make them bigger, confronting them gives us a chance to make them smaller. First therapeutic technique that comes to mind for this is gradual exposure therapy, which helps us overcome our fears and anxieties through, you guessed it, gradual exposure to whatever we're fearful of. While most of Bocchi's small interactions end up being just awful, where we see the concepts of gradual exposure therapy taking place is how Bocchi is able to present herself on stage. Bocchi dreams of playing on stage at school, and then everyone would totally see how cool and likable she is. But social anxiety makes even playing in a small venue a bit of an impossibility. Still, Bocchi pushes herself. Slowly but surely, she takes steps outside of her comfort zone. From the humble beginnings of playing in a mango box to maybe one day living her dreams of playing on the school stage. Bocchi takes those steps and shows us that maybe we could take those steps for ourselves too. Even though the goals we have might seem bigger than ourselves, it's okay to take it slow and take one small step out of our comfort zone at a time. This idea is reminiscent of the mentality that I find solutions-focused therapy uses. The goal there is to stay present and focused on what the next doable step is while working towards a larger, overarching goal. While if I dug a bit deeper, I could probably find a few more therapeutic concepts that fit Bocchi pretty well, I wanted to stick with just a few that I felt Bocchi really captures the mindset of and really inspires the emotions to try to push for. And we could use those concepts and emotions in our own lives to try to push ourselves to overcome our own anxieties. We need to remember that Bocchi didn't just step too far out of her comfort zone in one go. Just the mere thought of doing so had her. So if we try to apply these concepts in real life, we need to remember to take things slow, take small and doable steps outside of our comfort zone. By doing so, we're able to train our brain to realize that maybe that idea we had in our head wasn't as big as we made it out to be. Maybe even have a goal in mind that's beyond overcoming social anxiety. What's social anxiety holding you back from, and what do you really want to do? Having that larger goal helps inform all the small steps we'll take along the way. And maybe we can't expect results to happen overnight. And if Bocchi's any basis to go off of, the results might not be exactly how we envisioned. But if it's something that we care about enough, if it's an anxiety that we're tired of holding us back, those small steps are what matter. And even if that grand goal is far and away from where you are, what matters is that right here and right now, you have that ability to take a step in the right direction. Bocchi might be socially inept, a little dumb, and kind of delusional, but she always tries to chase after her goals. Her reasoning might be a bit misguided and vain, but the effort she puts into learning guitar and that she continuously puts forward to push herself socially, it's endearing as hell. With the help of her friends and family, she often pushes herself in ways she might not have thought possible before. We can do something similar, be it to combat social anxiety or anything else. If we can have the courage to bolster ourselves and take that step, we might find ourselves in a better place than when we started. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Maybe leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Some prompts to maybe ask yourself to get you started on your own journey of change is, do you feel anxiety is holding you back from anything that you truly want to do? If so, what's something small you could do, maybe today or tomorrow, that you feel might push you in the right direction towards your overall goal? Of course, any feedback is always appreciated. Whether this was great or you thought it sucked, I kinda like hearing both, because it gives me more ideas of how I might be able to improve. But anyways, this has been Papa Kuma, and thanks for stopping by.